Okay, we're about to begin the Q&A portion of our opportunity meeting here today on October 1st. We want to welcome all of you to our presentation and thank you for listening in so far. And for those of you that have any questions or comments, please let's go ahead and get started. You can just unmute and we can go from there.
I'm curious, Ace, what is it that is meant by when you don't want to work anymore? Like you've made your million, you don't want to work anymore. So what does that mean? That what is it you're not going to be doing after whatever time frame, the year or however long it takes to get to the millionaire status, or
Yeah,
500,000 if that's your goal is that's all you need or whatever.
the way pool funding is designed, it's designed to provide a long-term solution to the issue of having a continuous flow of funding. Okay. Someone like Rich is asking, we're selling currency like selling stock. We're not selling any kind of currencies or stock in the sense of the opportunity I'm talking about today. But I'll get back to you, Rich, on that in a second. We just wrap up the iPad question here. Um, so, um, yeah. So with our offer, okay, once you have a structure built, and that structure starts with the people that you bring in. So you're building a team of people, like 4 people, right? I think I recognize the voice. This is David, right?
Yes, sir.
All
Sorry, I
right.
don't know how to program my name into iPad. I thought I had programmed it in the other day and it
It's not a
didn't stay
problem.
or whatever.
Not a problem. So, okay. So basically, you got a team of 4 people, right? But the idea is that everybody is looking to do the same kind of thing, kind of duplicate that same thing of starting a team with personal referrals. So your referrals are your 4 people. Now, at some point, your referrals know everything you know, and you have nothing more that you could actually say to them that would make a difference as to what they're doing, right? And imagine you're all in the $1,000 pool, things are going well, and you're receiving, $90,000 a month, and they're receiving $90,000 a month, and so on, right? So that can be ongoing without having to go add more people or anything like that. And once everybody knows what they're doing, the system is just working, much like an economy. An economy just keeps on going, right? It's all about circulation and all that. So I hope that clarifies it for you. So once you have a solid team and they know everything they need to know, then there's no more work needed. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
And then the funding will just keep coming in. All right. Let's see
Now
here.
for Richard
Oh, so it was Rich.
or
Yeah.
Rich. Yeah.
Go ahead and unmute me, Rich. Okay. Maybe it might be new to. Anyway, just to make it very, very clear, we're dealing in USDT. So that's how you're paid, Rich. You're paid in USDT. Your funding comes in the form of USDT. We are we didn't invent the USDT. USDT has been here many, many years, long before we came around. And it's a solid, what they call a stable coin. It's basically a digital dollar. So for every USDT coin you're holding, it's always going to be equal to that same amount in paper dollars. And then it's easily convertible from the digital version over to the paper version anytime someone might be interested in doing that. So just it's a currency that's I would say it's the world's most popular digital currency is the USDT. So that's what we're using. You are going to be making a purchase of our coin, not an investment, and that would be for the sake of paying your access fee to the pool. So if you're in the $10 pool, you're going to pay $10 per month in our coin. So you got to purchase our coin, the PFP coin, for example, and then you use that to make your payment of your access fee to the pool. So the access fee is $10 per month on the $10 pool. It's $1 a month on the $1 pool. So you, in the case of the $1 pool, you'd be purchasing the PFI coin. And in the case of the $10 pool, you'd be purchasing the PFB coin. Neither one of those is an investment per se. You know, there are, you know, the coins are in the open market, so there are investors investing in the coin from the open market, but you are not required to do any investing at all. So I hope that clarifies your question there, Rich. All right. So Jeffrey Paxton's asking, he's at a loss of understanding, um, you know, he's at a loss of how this works. So um, basically, we circulate funds amongst ourselves through our pool, okay? And as that circulation, it gives us the ability to pump money out of the market. So like anything that's circulating, like take, for example, a river, okay? So a river comes up to a dam, okay? And then the dam, it's gonna hit the turbine. It, you know, the flowing water coming into the dam is pushing that turbine along, you know, and that creates power to pull money out of the market. Or the example in the video, like the Fortune 500 company, you know, to meet payroll, they sell some of their own stock, right, in order to meet their payroll every period. That's another example. So these people that are getting their check, their payroll checks, they're not traders, you know, they're not even necessarily investors. They just have jobs at the company. And the company, if you look at the paycheck they're holding on to, you could trace that money right back to the market. It's the same idea. Okay. So there you go. I hope that clarifies those questions. Jeffrey Paxton, is there an effective strategy by which you can get 4 people, sir? That's a great question. That's more of a spot on question. What really we should be talking about. How do you get 4 people? So first of all, identifying, you know, people that have the need for funding and approaching them. So, you know, there's people and communities, you know, so you can approach both. And, you know, and see if they have an interest in receiving funding that they don't have to pay back. Because the alternative is for them to go to a bank or go to an investor. And in both of those cases, they're going to be paying it back, right? So, Jeffrey, you're welcome to dialogue with me if you'd like to verbally. So if I'm just reading, it makes it more interactive and interesting for the video that we're doing right now. So, but if you'd like to unmute, you can. You're free to do so, Jeffrey.
All right, thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm a longtime friend of Greg Leasley. We
Good.
started some projects years and years ago, and he just sent me a text today saying, "Hey, man, you got to get in on this."
Oh, I'm glad you're
So,
here. Greg's an awesome
uh,
guy. He's a great guy. I love Greg.
you know, he turned me on to a couple of mail order offers, and I quickly made all my money back. And I thought, you know what? There's a way to do this on a bigger level, but it kind of got lost in the shuffle because I got my insurance broker's license years ago. So,
I had one of those, not a
there
broker, but I was an agent. Yeah. Life
you
insurance.
go.
Yeah.
All right. So you know, so if I understand you correctly, so there is a financially sanctioning body, and they are willing to let us trade from their account or their portfolio. Is that kind of what's going on?
No. This is
No.
what you would call it's in the cryptocurrency, right? So we have
Okay.
we have 2 of our own coins in the cryptocurrency market, like, you know, so many others, right? So everything that applies to cryptocurrency applies to us. That makes sense?
Okay.
So, but it's not like you know, you need a license. No one needs to go get a license to be dealing in cryptocurrency. Does that make sense? Anybody can, you know, buy, sell, trade with one another, even on a peer-to-peer basis. No problem. No license necessary for that. Does that make sense?
Mhm. You know, I have to say that it sounds succinct enough. I'm not very well versed in any kind of digital coin. I had a dear
There
friend.
you go.
Yeah, I had a dear friend, and he was just hitting the tip of the iceberg, and he had like 5 different coins, and he was doing 10,000 a month. and he passed away suddenly. He said, "Come on over, bro. I'll show you how to do it." And he just passed away suddenly. I thought, you know what? Damn it. I don't know. The universe must make me want to dig into this stuff a little deeper before I get to the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
But I'm not
So
sure how it worked.
yeah, I got my first taste of digital currency back in 2013 when someone turned me on to Bitcoin. And they
Yeah,
literally had to beat me over the head a little bit because I was, I was pretty conventional thinking, I would say, before that.
yeah.
And they came in and and we did two transactions in a matter of seconds. You know, he sent me some Bitcoin. I sent him a piece of it back. You know, it was small. He sent me 25 cents and I sent him back 10 cents, you know. And it all took place from the point of setting up the account and then receiving and then sending, right? All that it literally took a couple of minutes, like
Hmm.
less than 5 minutes, and that's with him explaining everything in the middle of all that. And then that's when the light bulb went off me like, oh my God. So I ended up making that a payment option that day in something else I was doing at the time back in 2013. And actually most of the people that were started to pay us through that at that point. So like, wow, it was a big win. So that's when I was introduced to the whole digital currency market, and I'm glad I caught it pretty early because a lot of people are not catching it till just now, maybe like yourself perhaps. But
Right.
in this year, in January of this year, I think it was on the 10th of January, Bitcoin, got an ETF approval from the Securities and Exchange Commission, okay, of the U.S. Okay, that's a big deal because now these big funds like these hedge funds and these pensions and all these massive like municipalities and whatever, all those large funds now can interact with Bitcoin at the ETF level, and that has really helped Bitcoin a lot. Bitcoin. The funny thing is, Bitcoin is still its all-time highs around 77,000, and we blew right past that. We went all the way up to 325,000. We started our coin back in January of this year. But what we're doing is a little bit different because what we intend to do is pull money out of the market, right? We're not interested in putting money in the market. There's plenty of money up there. There's whatever number you want to put on it, quadrillions, there's so much money up there in the market. And it's kind of like flypaper. It just goes up in the market and it hides behind people's computer screens or whatever, and it never comes back down into the economic level. And I think the global economy is really suffering because of the lack of what you might call the M2 supply of money is not circulating very well, right? Which is impacting velocity of money and all that. And we all feel the impact of that as individuals, right? So what
Right.
I'm hoping to do is make an impact there. So we pull some of that money that's just idle up there in the market and bring it back into the economic level at the individual level, right? Where individuals economically get that money circulating again back down in the ground economy. So but we're doing that through USDT. So people concerned about getting involved with a currency that they don't know they're unsure about whether it's going to go up or down. You don't have to worry about that because you're being paid in USDT, not in our coin. So what we do is
And USM, what does that acronym stand for? USDT,
stands
US
for
dollar.
US dollar, yeah, US dollar, USD, and then T stands for tether, US dollar tether. And the way Tether works is for every coin that's issued digitally in out in the out on the internet, right? Which is more than the market, right? Any
Yeah.
contact to the internet. For every one of those coins out there, there is a paper dollar, or at least a digital version of that paper dollar, sitting in a vault, to back up that currency 100%. So it's known as a stable coin. Okay. So
Okay.
stable coins are backed by asset, right? And in the case of Tether, it is the US dollar. And so there's US dollars here in a vault, and here's the coins over here. And so no one has to worry about it going belly up because it's 100% backed.
Wow. All righty. Well, I don't know everything, can't pretend to, but I'll definitely get a hold of Greg. And
Yeah.
you know, I have to learn. I have to learn. I've been watching this thing go crazy, man. It's been 4 times in my life now. When I worked at Warehouse Records and Tapes at the Lakewood Mall when I was a 20-year-old guy, one of the guys there said, dude, Warehouse is offering a stock purchase plan out of each paycheck. They'll allow you to spend $24 out of each paycheck. And I was just a young kid wanting to make it in a rock and roll band. I was driving a Corvette and I wanted all my cash now. I didn't want to invest in this shit. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. Well, you know, I worked there for a year and I made some commissions. Well, in another year, I got a notice from the state of California Treasury that I had unclaimed funds. And I tapped in there and there was $6,000 in there because Warehouse
Wow.
Records and Tapes was bought by Blockbuster.
Oh my God. Well, I hope you
Yep.
caught
And
it
then
before Blockbuster went bust. You just-
no, I didn't. And then within months after that, they said, "Hey, listen, it's a good thing you got that records and tape thing, because I'll tell you what, the music is going to change. It's going to be on this plastic disc." And I
Yeah.
went, "Oh yeah, sure." You know, I'm a music. I come from a family of musicians, and yeah, okay, sure. It's going to be on a little plastic disc. Okay, sure. You know, where's your tinfoil hat? And he said, there's a company in Boulder, Colorado. They're $13 a share right now. And the future of music is going to be on coated disc. And the sound's going to be crystal clear. Okay, sure. And I even had a friend say, dude, you got to spend $150 and get, 10 shares of this stuff and just hold on to it. I didn't. And they went gangbusters too. Another friend said, buy this $100
Wow.
stock for Facebook. I didn't do that.
You must have the
So,
safety on, right? You don't have your finger on the trigger. You have the safety on all the time.
right. That's it, man. That's it, man.
You're not ready to pull that trigger. Yeah, and then
Just don't want to put
you've
my
missed
feet in
it,
that deep
missed a few
water.
targets there. Yeah. Well,
I missed them big time.
yeah, I hear you. I can relate to what you're saying. I totally get where you're coming from, but you're a broker, right? So you have agents working beneath you, right?
No, not yet. I don't have an agency.
Oh, you don't have an
Not yet.
agency. Okay, but
Not yet.
you have a brokerage. Okay, got it, got it.
Okay.
But the same concept there, the whole point of how you make it big in what you're currently doing for your main thing, right, is leveraging people, right? Because
Right.
you're gonna get a little piece of everything, and you get 100% of whatever you do on the commission, right, as a broker, but your agents are going to share part of their commission with you as their broker, right? That's how it
Right.
works, right?
Mhm.
Now
Yeah. Right.
that's how it works in most opportunities, by the way. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Gotta get a little bit of water here. All right. So what's interesting about the way pool funding is structured is that we're completely decentralized. So like, Rich is asking, well, where's the pool? Well, we don't look at it as a pool of money as much as we look at it as a pool of people. And the reason why we look at it as a pool of people, because they're the ones holding on to the device, it's got the digital wallet on it, like a cell phone, for example, right? So where's the money? Okay. Well, it's all in everybody's phone, right? So I'm not holding on to the money. All that USDT that's part of our pool that's circulating, it's not sitting in one place, right? It's all out in everybody's wallet, right? So everybody has a wallet. We like to use the MetaMask wallet. Again, we didn't start in MetaMask. We're not the owners of MetaMask. They've been around much longer than we have. Okay. So same thing with the USDT. So these are names and names you can trust in out there in the digital world of currency. And so people hold on to the funds. So maybe this one's holding $100 in USDT. This one over here is holding 1,000, and so on and so on. But we've got members. Our membership's growing. We're in the thousands right now, soon to be in the tens of thousands. And as our pool of people gets bigger and bigger, those monthly fees they add up, right? So we have people that are paying $10 every month. So it's one thing when 1,000 people are paying $10 every month, but quite another thing when there's 1 million people paying $10 a month, right?
Yep.
But even though we're, relatively small in the sense we're not a million people yet, what I do is I actually take the money that's coming in by those, in the form of PFB. I take that, I convert that to USDT, and well over 90% of what is received on a monthly basis, I then share that with the members. So even though you could say I would be entitled to that $10 every month from each person because I'm the creator, I'm the founder of this, and you could make a strong case that I'm entitled to every one of those $10 for creating a system, right? But
Yep.
in order to make the system really sweet, yeah, I wanted the market piece to be there, you know. So in order to have that, I have to share, right?
Right.
And that's what I've been doing. So everybody knows that they can clearly see, that I'm actually probably I am currently the main holder of the coins, but eventually this gets into what we call the smart contract level, where I'm not holding on any coins as a man, but it's all done, through automation. That's where we're heading with this. But the idea is that the operational costs are super small, right? Very, very small. So we don't need $10 million of funding every month to run an operation, right? We
Yeah.
don't need it. But I'd much rather take that money and give it back to the people. That is my intent, right? And that helps money
Yeah.
circulate. So we're not just working with people's money that are coming in with a little bit of an operating budget, not just that money, but we also have money from the market. And the idea is we hit a nexus point where at that nexus point, we have so much positive buying pressure and frequency of purchase against our coins that is just propelling the coin way up there. So that when I go to sell, I'm able to actually sell more out of the market than even what the combined contribution of the people. Take all the people and what they contributed to the system to work, take all of it and add it together. Imagine pulling out more out of the market on a daily basis than that. And that's just about frequency, having the frequency of that, so the more people we have, the more frequency we have making those small purchases, $1 a month, $10 a month. Those are small amounts, but the frequency is what will give us the power. That's why we want the price to be very high, because when we go to sell, we get a lot of money. Does that make sense?
Make a make a little make a little profit on a lot of people instead of making a lot on a few people.
That's right. Yeah. So I see what we're doing is something that can grow to the point of there's any number. I mean, any number, a billion people. We could be bigger than a country. So
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're
Okay.
writing there, Nicole. Thank you. All right. Jeffrey, you have any other questions?
I will probably have more in the future. I'm just that way. And
There's nothing wrong
but
with that.
no, so far I appreciate everything. And
What did you think of the
I
presentation today as you were listening to it for the first time?
it's it's very intriguing. I've been for years, I've had friends, coming to me with certain financial questions, and ask me, what do you think about this? What do you think about Ethereum? Or what do you think about? And I never really had any kind of working knowledge with it. So, when there are certain things you hear in a presentation, the things that are the most natural are, can you imagine doing this 2 hours a day and becoming a millionaire? Well, yeah, I can. I love to imagine doing this 2 hours a day and becoming a millionaire. And if that's possible, then either I'd better do
Would you
that
like to be a
now.
millionaire in less than a year? I'm proposing that to you right now. Become a millionaire in less than a year.
You know what, brother? To tell you the truth, I'm such an old school guy, and I was raised by a decorated Marine and a Sunday school teacher that I still have difficulties just wrapping my mind around the concept of that. So many steps these days do not have to be done. That the process of using a CRM, the process of using follow-up emails, the process of using follow-up marketing, those kind of things never occurred to me. But now, a longtime friend of the family, one of my dad's friends, actually, he's still alive. He was a Vietnam vet and he was a decorated Marine, and he is in cybersecurity. And he told me, Jeffrey, I can put together a website and make a guy $10,000 in 48 hours. I said, well, do it for me. And he goes, okay, well, I'm going to need a product. I'm going to need some content, and you're going to be you're going to need to be ready to blast off when I send out 5,000 emails in a week. So you need to, and every time I get close, well, I think about this product, that product, then I think it's almost like when Bob Guccione Jr. interviewed Pete Townsend and said, "Well, here I am with one of the founding members, one of the greatest bands in history." And Pete Townsend lit into this guy and said, "I told you, I don't want to talk about the Who. I was a kid. So in other words, in the words of a great music writer, he said, be careful what you write. Be careful what you're saying to people, because it may become something that you're going to have to perform 10,000 times over the course of your career. So make sure you know what you're talking about and that you feel it and you can get that passion every night to do it." And so I haven't, like I said, I touched the waters with my feet, but I'm afraid to dive in.
Yeah.
Even though
Well,
I'm a great swimmer.
I totally get it. So obviously you showed up here today. Greg invited you to be here today. What did Greg say to you as what was the form of his invitation?
It was just a very skeletal text.
Yeah.
"Jeff, what's going on? Hey, I hit 5 grand twice. Do you want to get in on this?"
Wow.
And that's it.
That's it.
And I wrote right back and I said, "Okay, I'm interested. What is it? How is it? How much is it? How does it work?" And he said, "Jump on the call with me." And that
Perfect.
was it. Because Greg recommended a couple of direct mail marketing campaigns that we used, and they worked good.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to continue to purchase data sheets and peel and stick labels and all that good stuff, if that's what you wanted to do, then I probably could have made the money that Greg and I looked at this one program, because it caught right away. And I made all my money back twice on the little mailings I did. But like I said, life got in the way. My dad had cancer at the time, and I didn't follow through with it. I was happy to live off the money for a while, but no, but this cyber expert guy, uh, he's got the logistics, he's got the mechanics.
Yeah.
So when he says this can be done,
Yeah.
and
Bring something worthwhile to the market and he could provide the traffic to the website. Yeah.
yeah, that's what he said. That's what he
Yeah.
said. Just if you got something good, I'll check it out. I'll look at the backside of it. I'll check the language. I'll check their language and all that kind of good stuff. And then he said, aside from having to get with their webmaster and make sure it's okay if I start sending you guys lots of traffic, he said, other than that, get me the product, get me the content, and we can do it. So
So
yeah, I'm
here's a
excited from that standpoint, because this is something that I would like to be able to send out mass market to people, just because, you know what I mean? So many people are sitting at the fishing hole, but a lot of people aren't paying attention to the line,
right.
so.
True. So here's a twist for you. If you look
Okay.
at what most people are doing to kind of compensate for, how dismal the incomes are from the job market, because frankly, the cost of things and compared to what people are paid, it's out of balance for sure. But a lot of people are turning to some more transactional type things where, it requires a lot of transactions, like the example you're giving there of having a product, having a website. Well, then once you get those orders, you got to deliver the product. Unless it's digital, that's not going to be automated, and you're gonna have to have some sort of a, warehouse of product and people, shipping
Right.
it out and all that, right?
Yeah.
So, but those are all transactions. And then the thing is, once the transaction is done, that same customer is not likely to come back for a while, unless you
Right.
have a branding
Right.
thing where they're buying your product every year for the upgraded version of it. But most people are really, they get involved in transactions. See, pool funding is more built on the idea of relationships. So 4 solid relationships can turn you into a millionaire. You don't have to worry about the millions of transactions that take place underneath the system.
Right.
The system's
Right.
doing all this anyway, right? So let the system do
Yep.
everything for you. So the only thing you're concerned about as being a member of pool funding is the relationships that you form. with your small team of, at least two people, because in order to be in positive cash flow, you need two. But if you have three or four, four will get you to millionaire status. And then four solid relationships, take good care of them. They take good care of you. And then that's something that you can have from year to year, decade to decade, ongoing.
Yeah.
So you establish it. You're just building off the platform that we provide. You build a little tiny team of people. Maybe your influence might impact it, maybe 100 people. You got four people, they each got four each or whatever. Maybe, you can track your influence where you actually met some of these people to maybe 100 people, right? But out of that 100 people, you're only really dealing with four of them, four relationships. The others, you're there to, assist where possible, but your time's not really going to be placed there. Your time is investing mostly in those four people, those four relationships. That's how you make it big time in pool funding. Okay. Relationships. Focus on the relationship, and you're going to go, you'll really go, you'll rise quickly, and you'll be able to maintain that forever, ongoing. The system will take care of everything else for you. So you don't have to worry about any of that. You don't have to actually pollute your mind with more stuff than you want to have in there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Years ago, my brother and I started an eBay store, and we were dealing in collectibles, military, and musical instruments.
That's an
and
example.
we were doing it was really going well. At one point, my brother, he had bought a big, beautiful home, and his wife got so tired of us, talking business and posting auctions, that she left him.
Oh no.
And by the time we really got into this inventory, we had like 200 guitar cases in his living room. And after it was all said and done, we amassed this huge amount of cash. And then we just had to sit back and say, okay, we have firmly embedded ourselves in a business that's going to require us to do the legwork to renew the resources. If we're not out looking at these instruments, and we're not getting them restored, and we're not buying them for low and selling high, if we aren't doing that, this thing comes to a grinding halt.
That's the lack of leverage, right?
There you go. There's no more leverage. Each customer is point-to-point customer.
Yeah.
And of course, when they wanted their money back, that hurt us. When they wanted it shipped to Finland, it was $200, so we'd lose money on that. So, so when I talked to my internet guys, man, there's got to be a way to do something like this where I just want to be in the middle of where the money's going.
That's it.
I just want a little
You
bit.
found
I
it.
want to be in the middle, was where like I'm sitting on a I'm always whenever I talk about this, I'm reminded of a morning that I woke up with a dear friend of mine that toured with the Stones. He was a crew guy, and he had this beautiful house in Corbett, Oregon. And if you drove down his street and drove along this road, it was on a bluff. And I didn't really think much about seeing just nothing but clear blue open sky over that bluff. But we stopped at a Native American guy's house, and he was selling huge planks of salmon fillets for $2 a pound. And I said, how do you get these? He goes, I'm a fisherman. And we walked out his back door, and Ace, 50 feet from his back door is a 200-foot cliff to the Columbia River Gorge. And he lowered himself down there with a little pulley he made, and got on his boat and dragged his net out there every day and pulled in hundreds of pounds of salmon. And he said, I hear that rich people look at the internet like the river, like the Great Mother River. They sit on the side, they throw their pole in and catch the fish as they go by. He goes, I go out there and put a net, and I catch them all as they're swimming by. And so I told my buddy, there's got to be a way to do that. He goes, well, absolutely, there is.
There's a profound lesson there.
There it is, man. And this guy had no idea what the internet was. In fact, the family heirlooms in his house had cobwebs on them. He'd been there for over 100 years.
Wow.
So this is just an ancient but tried and true way for personal wealth. And all he did was just get in the middle of something that was a naturally moving process all the time. So
this is the river, Jeff.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is the river.
Yeah, but
All right.
I used to refer to the whole idea of the velocity of money as a river, and that we're tied into that principle, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so great bantering with you there, Jeffrey. You seem like an
Yes,
awesome
sir. Thank
guy.
you. Thank
And
you, man. Thank you.
let me see, is there anybody else here that got they'd like to unmute and share their thoughts or feelings or ask a question? I know so many of you are familiar to me, but there's a couple here that I don't recognize. But while we're waiting, Nicole wrote, yes, thank you for this golden opportunity, brother. Um, really, I'm feeling very fortunate for this opportunity. Make a lot of legal money. There you go. So I'm glad you're here, Nicole. I'm glad you're seeing, you know, that we have a great opportunity, and we want to spread the news. The way I normally spread the news, if I'm talking to people just out there, I just say, hey, you know, I'm helping people to receive funding that they don't have to pay back, and I usually just be quiet at that point, let that sink in, because when you think about it, when you normally hear the word funding, that normally what you think is, oh, that's something I got to pay back, right? But when you tell them, hey, you can get funding you don't have to pay back, then usually a question will come out of that, and then I can take that question and turn it into an invitation for them to take a closer look at some of our marketing materials. Another approach that I found is really good. If you want to reach out to people to say, hey, I found a way to leverage my time so I can be overpaid. I'm like, well, everybody wants to be overpaid, right? So how does that work exactly? You know, so there you go. And we could probably wrap this up with David. David just raised his hand from the iPad. Go ahead, David.
I think it's great how you're an example of, even though you're the creator, that you earn the same way we earn.
Sure.
And it's just awesome. And then with what you were just saying just a little bit ago, that this is our river and it's awesome. Many of us have missed multiple opportunities, whether it was, Bitcoin or Microsoft or, Apple or whatever. And this is not one to miss. This is today in our lifetime as we're grown adults, not, maybe children or young teenagers or whatever, not knowing anything about life. We know plenty about life and plenty of opportunities in our adult life we passed on or didn't even know about and found out too late. And this is such a great thing. I'm grateful to be a part of this and that it's actually working for me. I'm not making the 5,000 that I think he said Greg made twice or whatever, if that was this thing or something else. But I'm definitely working my way up and I've made, more and more money each week and each day that goes by. So it's just awesome. And I totally appreciate it.
Well, thank you,
Just
David.
five once. It's
What's that?
5,000 one time.
Oh,
5,000 one time.
I got it.
Not twice
Oh,
yet.
okay.
He's giving you more credit than you deserve. It's okay. Just receive it, you know. Think
Yeah.
of it think of it like a river. The river's gonna give more. All right.
Positive projection. Positive projection.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. The other thing is it's great. Not only do you not have to pay it back, but there's also no interest. I would love to pay back $100,000 or $30,000 for my house or my car or whatever, but no interest. And that's another thing that you haven't talked about this time, unless I missed it. I got in a few minutes late, but you had talked about how a dollar doubling
Oh,
makes a certain
that's a
amount.
whole nother can of we're at the end of this video, not the
Okay.
beginning.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep, because I you can go to my YouTube channel and look for that particular video when it comes to, you know, how taxes impact wealth. So taxation. Look at that one. It's a good video on my YouTube channel. Let me give a link to someone here in the chat. I see Tania kind of got in towards a little bit on the towards the end of us here, and she must be kind of new. Her name's not familiar to me. So I'll send a message out to all of you. This is the link to our presentation. It's poolfunding.io/remote agent. Go ahead and copy that link, Tania. And all the videos on there are connected to YouTube, and all those videos are on my YouTube channel. So you will see over 200 videos all about pool funding on the on that channel there. And for anybody else that might be interested and may not know that already. And so I want to thank you know, Jeff, and I want to thank Rich and Tania and anybody else that might be new here, Nicole, I want to thank all of you for coming to our opportunity meeting today. And I want to thank all of the others that are already members and for being supportive and arriving and coming and being a part of this meeting as well. The message is really clear to all of you that are members, and you understand that supporting one another is kind of the key for the success of what we're doing. So you're here as cheerleaders and support roles, and really, really appreciate that as well. So we had a lovely opportunity meeting today, a little bit on the long side, but I thought it was great. And I love rock and roll guys like Jeffrey here, you know. He's my kind of guy. And
There you go.
I could probably just sit around just talking about music all day long with you and just let the time pass, no problem.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man, after we get this thing to a point where, you know, we'll have like a little convention or something, a meeting, man, I'll put together a hell of a band, man. We'll have
I'm
a
looking,
great time.
and I'll hold you to that. Like you said, you know, this is on recording, by the way.
All right.
We'll be nailing you down on that one. That's a commitment now.
Okay, brother. You got it, man.
All right. That's excellent. Well, good deal. So Greg is awesome, and Greg's in the red shirt with the ball cap over here. He's a good friend of mine now. I didn't know him a couple of weeks ago, but we've gotten very, very close since he became a part of this.
That's right.
And I think the world of Greg, and I really appreciate him. So you're in good company, Jeffrey.
Ditto.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so we'll call a meeting. What I normally do to end the meeting is I like to have everybody unmute and say bye-bye, see ya. If we can have everybody do that. Bye-bye, see ya.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye.
See you next time.
Call me.
Hey.